Okay, y'all. I asked for your indulgence because this is another one of those videos where I'm going to be speaking my mind without knowing uh, exactly what I'm saying until I'm saying it. Working things out as I go along, and hopefully it'll be interesting, and hopefully I'll be articulate enough. And by the way, watch on 1.5 speed. I talk really slow. I stammer a lot. What have you. I've heard it all. I've heard all of the complaints. So if you don't like it, don't watch. But if you must watch, then I encourage you to watch on 1.5 speed. That'll probably be more copacetic for you. I wish I could talk at 1.5 speed, but that's just not me. It's just not me. I'm starting to turn on the internet sleuths. Um, and it's been um, a transition that's it's happened over the last few months maybe, and I think it all started. I think the beginning point of it was when the Tyler Robinson debates. The did Tyler Robinson pull the trigger or not? No, of course he couldn't have pulled the trigger. It was Mossad. We all know it was Mossad. Uh, when that was that still is. That seems to be the talking point. That seems to be what is favored in these circles. It's probably what most of you think. Most of you listening, it's probably what you think. And I'm not. I don't. Um, I don't. I feel differently than that. I have my own reasons, which I'll relate. I don't want to get into it too much here because I think I've talked about it in the past. I think I've given my reasons in the past, but my reasoning really hasn't changed. And so, in my estimation, there's been a lot of hot air uh, expended on people trying to deflate the state's case against Tyler Robinson, which is unusual because I'm not a fan of the state. I'm not a fan of the establishment. I'm not a fan of the authorities. Uh, and I've generally been a fan of taking on the establishment, and I'm no fan of the MSM. And so I've been on the internet sleuths side for a long time, and internet sleuth is kind of this condescending term for people who are just ordinary people who get on social media and share their thoughts about this issue or that issue. Um, you know, uh, and it goes back a ways, but of course, 2020 was a huge moment. 2020 and 2021 and everything that went on then, all the lies that we heard then, and the extensive amount of censorship, and how you weren't supposed to think for yourself, and you were just supposed to believe what you were told, and shut up, and go along with things, and get your shot, and you know, and immense pressure was expended to that to push these ends that were deeply, deeply uh, wrong, wrong on the face of things, and wrong in their in the coercive uh, complexion that they took. I mean, it was just seriously messed up. And so, and during that time period is when most everybody, most all of the official people were at their most strident. They were at their most sanctimonious. They were at their most censorious about no, no. You should only believe the experts. And when we say experts, we mean our appointed experts. Yeah, we know there are other people who were brilliant and who went to Harvard and Yale, and who completely disagree with all of this crap that we're trying to impose. There are people who got all of the requisite degrees. You know, who started up the Barrington Declaration and blah blah blah, and this and that. But we don't want you. They're cranks now. We don't want you to listen to them. We want you to listen to all of the flunkies in the administration and at the CDC. Spouting the party line. We want you to listen to Fauci and and we want you to listen to the dopes at CNN and the dopes at MSNBC and at Fox News. Most of the ones at Fox News, even Fox News was not exempt. Uh, and we want you to listen to the late night talk show hosts because they wouldn't steer you wrong. These late night comedians, they're surely uh, they're not just part of the agenda, you know. Um, and we don't want you to think badly when anyone says, if you don't get this shot, you should die. If you don't get this shot, then you shouldn't get treated. If you don't get this shot, you should be friendless and uh, you should be kicked out of society and you shouldn't be allowed inside any establishment and we should completely shun you and if you're sick, you should not have the right to be treated. And I mean, they were saying those things and more. There's this fantastic uh, Orf, that's his name, Matt Orphelia, something like that. I should. He has he makes these fantastic um, uh, montages, and the last one they came up with is fantastic. It's 12 minutes long. I'll see if I can find it. If I can find it, I will link to it. All right. So, anyway, this is all background, okay, to say that at around this time, the so-called internet sleuths were were the ones who were saying, screw all this crap, and it was hard to even be an internet sleuth because you couldn't get on YouTube. They would ban your video if you said the wrong thing or if you said uh, if you had the wrong kind of title for your video or you like I had a video taken off. I just the title was my honest thoughts on the real Dr. Fauci, which was Robert Kennedy Jr.'s book. I read it and related my thoughts about it, and that video was taken down. There wasn't even anything in the title that said, I don't remember what I said over the course of the video, but it was just a review of the book. Nope, can't do that. Can't consider Robert Kennedy Jr.'s book. Uh, so, all right. So that's the background, backdrop to all of this, and it goes back further than that. Of course, it goes back to PIZZA Gate and other things, and the New England Elementary School, which I'm not going to mention them by name. If I said the name, I think even now, if I said the name, uh, that would be immediately flagged. I'm guessing. So I'll just say the case of what they say happened at a particular New England elementary school. Yeah, I mean that. So it goes back years. So and and I was I as recently as maybe a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about the what's his name, Kohlberger, the case in of the students in Moscow, Idaho, who were murdered, and this guy Kohlberger was convicted of their murders, and like the Netflix documentary was spending a lot of time talking about how there were so many internet sleuths out there who were saying all these things, and it was all misinformation and blah blah blah. And, I was annoyed. I was annoyed by that. All right, so what changed? Well, I think it all has begun. It all began with the Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson stuff. All right, to me, um, to me, I believe that Tyler Robinson did it, y'all. I believe that. If he didn't do it, why has he never denied doing it? Why hasn't he gone? Why hasn't he stepped forward and said, "I wasn't there. Those pictures that you see of me, that's not really me. That's uh, a deep fake. That's an AI. That's me superimposed on my image superimposed on a screen or whatever." If he didn't do it, if he really wasn't there, if he actually didn't do it, if he didn't pull the trigger, how in the world is it in his advantage to be silent? Unless he was told to be silent by his attorneys, because they know that if he spoke up, uh, it wouldn't help his case. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Think about it. If you were accused of murder and you didn't do it, why in the world would you not say, "I wasn't there. I wasn't on the roof. I wasn't holding the rifle that they say I was holding. Uh, I wasn't at the event. Um, you know, I was 100 miles away. I was with all these other people. They saw me. That I have an alibi. Or even if you don't have, even if other people didn't see you, you would still, you know, if the truth is that you didn't do it, if the truth is that you weren't there and you didn't do it, and it seems like that's what a lot of you seem to be arguing. It seems like a lot of y'all out there who are like, no, no, it was Mossad. Mossad did Kirk, and then Tyler Robinson is just their patsy, their scapegoat, and they they attached it to this whole trans issue, and that was just like they tried to say that that Lee Harvey Oswald was a communist, and that's why he did it. They're trying to say Tyler Robinson did it because of this, because of trans ideology or whatever. Um, I mean, so ask yourself, if you were Tyler Robinson and you were getting accused of these things and you were innocent, would you A, speak up and tell people your true whereabouts and tell people that everything they're saying about you is a pack of lies? Or would you B, shut up and not say anything and not try to defend yourself at all? Well, he's chosen B. Why? Why, if he's innocent, has he chosen B instead of A? I haven't heard. What is the reason? Why is that a good idea? Why is that a good strategy? I have not heard anyone out there tell me why that's a good strategy on his part if he's innocent. All right. Secondly, y'all saw all of the thousands of people who got on social media and said, "Woohoo! Charlie Kirk died. Yeah, I'm so happy. Ha ha ha! They got him. We got him in the neck. Ha ha ha!" Uh, and so forth and so on. Like, if you really don't think that there's not immense hate, there wasn't immense hatred out there from the very kind of people that Tyler Robinson seemed to be, um, you know, or seemed to have become. He was not always this way, but he grew up Mormon, but in recent years he, I guess, was questioning his sexuality, or was having this romantic affair with a guy. Except here's what I don't. if you're if you're in a relationship with a guy, but he thinks he's a girl, then are you really heterosexual? Because you're supposed to. I mean, are you really even gay? If you're, if, I mean, in the correct way of thinking about it, if you're the gender that you choose to be is what you are, and no one can debate it. Like, if you're biologically male but you say that you're a girl because you feel like a girl, then if you're a guy who's with another guy who thinks that he's a girl, then aren't you with a girl? you know. I mean, anyway, that's just a side note. But anyway, he's questioning his, or he seems to have discovered uh, that he's gay, or that he's whatever the hell it is. What is it even called? If you're a guy and you're with another guy, but that guy says that he's trans, then what does that make you? I'm honestly, I mean, I know I'm kind of making fun of it all, but I'm also honestly kind of interested. Like, is there a term? Is there a term for that? Um, Anyhow, I guess it puts him in the LGBT orbit. All right, and it was the socially left, pro LGBT, uh, uh, pro feminist, that whole, like, Antifa aligned. It was those kinds of people who were all over social media, showing their faces, in many cases, going under their actual names. No shame whatsoever in saying, "Yay, they killed Charlie Kirk. I'm so glad they did it." I'm so happy that that happened. And yet we're supposed to. You guys want me to say Mossad did it, people. You want me to say, oh well, yeah, disregard all of them. It was Israel. Okay. Why? Why should I say that? Why should I believe that? Okay. Look, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting that Charlie was questioning his allegiance to Israel, or was like that he was. I don't know if he ever even questioned his allegiance to Israel exactly, but he was getting fed up with certain donors of a particular ethnicity, and uh, he was doing things that were a little provocative, like questioning whether October 7th might have been a false flag. You know, I mean that's all interesting, and and but I don't and like I'm not saying that Mossad doesn't have it in them to kill somebody, you know, because clearly they do, clearly they have. So and it's not that I'm saying I'm a fan of what Israel's doing in Gaza, has been doing in Gaza for the last few months. I'm not, very very much not. But I don't, you know, the Mossad thing seems really tenuous to me. Um, I'm not seeing the evidence for it. I just don't see it. I think a lot of y'all see it because you don't like Mossad, and you don't like Israel, and you don't like Jews. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, I don't think I'm saying uh, anything. I mean, I think what I'm saying is accurate. I think for a lot of you, um, it's sort of like, well, they must have done it because who else would do it? Well, what about the thousands and thousands of people uh, acting like complete maniacs? Reacting with glee to an innocent man getting shot dead. Just a guy who goes to college campuses and says, let's talk about things. Says, let's have a debate. If you disagree with me, get in line. Get to the front of the line and challenge me, and I'll answer you courteously. And uh, you know somebody like that gets shot dead, and they react with absolute maniacal satanic glee. And there's thousands and thousands and thousands of them reacting in exactly the same way, in exactly that way. You don't think one among that group of people, this emotionally incontinent group of people, you know, showing us all how emotionally incontinent they are, and how how possessed they seem to be, whether literally possessed or just metaphorically possessed. Either way, uh, they're showing us their their actual their true colors, uh, and brazenly. You know, like, you don't think somebody like that, somebody among that group, could have gotten it in him to, or her, in this case him, uh, to say, I'm going to take that motherfucker out. I'm going to take out that hateful piece of shit who goes around, being conservative on college campuses and says, let's talk, let's have a conversation. And people who disagree with me go to the front of the line. And, you know, I'm tired of that. Like, there's no place for somebody like that. He needs to go. We got to take him out. You really think, is it really that implausible that a person among that cohort, among that ghastly cohort, that someone somewhere uh, would get a rifle and hide up on a roof and pull the trigger? Is it really that implausible? Now, like, and when it comes to logistics, when it comes to, like, how could he have made a shot like that? Okay, first of all, I'm not going to talk about the ballistic side of things. I don't know much about ballistics and about types of guns or types of bullets. Um, yes, the allegation is that he used this hunting rifle, and that the shot, normally when you use this type of rifle, or this type of bullet, that usually there's an exit wound. In this case, there wasn't, and a lot of y'all acting like that's just a checkmate in and of itself. From what I've heard from ballistics people, that's not a checkmate of by any stretch. It's not the typical thing, but it's not a, oh, that would never happen type of thing. It's something that could happen. Um, and so, okay, so, but anyway, so you're saying that that a Mossad adjacent person actually took the shot, and that wasn't Tyler Robinson. If you were saying, I'd almost like, if there were more of you saying Tyler Robinson did it, but probably the Mossad got to him. Okay, the Mossad got to him, and they helped. They got in his mind, and got him to do this. Like, then at least you're saying, uh, uh, at least you're not trying to just say, oh well, he wasn't there, he wasn't on the roof, he wasn't even around. Uh, the rifle that they say he had uh, could never have uh, the bullet that he fired could never have behaved the way that it behaved. Um, you know, like, then it would be, maybe it would be easier for me to entertain what you're saying. But you're wanting him just not to be there at all, and you're wanting this to say, I don't know, who who actually fired the shot, because there was one shot. That's what just about everybody agrees. One bullet was fired. Um, and okay, and putting the issue of ballistics aside, um, you know, the fact is that Charlie Kirk was a soft target. All right. Yes, he was somebody who had some political leverage, and he knew Donald Trump, and interacted with Trump and with others, in other bigwigs. And so I'm not saying he was a nobody. I'm just saying that he was a soft target, in the sense that he didn't have like a massive uh, uh, security apparatus attached to him, the way that somebody like the president or the vice president, or any elected official or any, actual appointed official would. He was just he had people on his team who were security oriented. Yeah, I mean, I, but I don't, there before this there'd never been anybody shot on a college campus, and there'd been plenty of incidences where some conservative speaker comes to a liberal college campus, and there's an orgy of hatred against the speaker. That's happened a ton of times. There's never been uh, any shots fired before. So like, could could he have done? Could a guy like Tyler Robinson have done it from the perspective of where he allegedly was? Yes, especially given that he had experience in hunting. All right, it's not, maybe not a like a shot that anybody could make, but it's not the kind of shot that you would have to be an expert marksman to make, and it's not like the security was again. It's not at all equivalent to um, Butler, Pennsylvania, where somebody was able to fire a shot at Trump, even though the Secret Service was there, even though the sniper team was there. In that case, there are so many anomalies, and you've got this hard target, somebody who should be a hard target, somebody who was a president and who's running for president again, extremely high profile person. Charlie Kirk, in September of 2025, was not that, was nowhere near that. He'd been on college campuses many times before. He didn't speak behind like a glass apparatus, or he didn't have you know Secret Service marksman scanning all around, like the best security team in the world supposedly. So when things went south, and Trump almost was murdered, almost was shot in the head, in Butler, Pennsylvania, in July of 2024. Uh, that was a, like, what the hell happened kind of moment. What's going on here? This is supposed to be a hyper competent security team. A super high level target, a hard target, who should have an incredible security detail, and clearly something went wrong for for him almost to have gotten killed. Um, that's nowhere near what Charlie Kirk was. Okay, Charlie Kirk didn't have Secret Service. He didn't have a group of snipers looking out for possible would-be assassins the way that the president does, or a major presidential candidate does when he's on the campaign trail, and he's got Secret Service, um, you know, making sure he stays safe, and mostly succeeding. Most of the time, being quite competent, but certain times not. Certain times showing a puzzling lack of competence, like in Butler, Pennsylvania. The situation with Charlie Kirk was not like that. Tyler Robinson sneaking onto the roof of a nearby, of a building nearby where Charlie Kirk was, near where Charlie Kirk was speaking, being able to stay fairly inconspicuous and then firing a shot that killed him from, not from not from a daunting angle or distance. And I'm not saying it wasn't a good shot, but again, it wasn't a shot that you had to be an expert marksman to have made. I mean, I'm repeating myself, but just to emphasize that point, okay? I think I'm going to have to divide this video into two parts here. Yeah, so, okay, so let me stop here, and then I'll go on with this rant in part 2.